I'm genuinely frustrated with the British media's approach to covering political deals, especially when it comes to supporting Reform and Tories. Think about it. The Tories are still salty because they're not in power, and they said that they'll even scrap it before they'd even seen the deal. They're just opposing for opposing's sake. Whereas Reform are the populist party. They've got no track record. They'll say whatever they want. They can say whatever they feel like will get the most attention towards them. And then they can feed and profit off the hate they generate. Here's Richard Tice setting up the stage first thing this morning.
There's a deal basically being done to surrender some of the opportunities from Brexit, and it's quite clear that a scheme dressed up as youth mobility will actually be a return to freedom of movement in all but name. It'll be a surrender of our ability to make our own rules. Instead, we're going to go back to basically being a rule taker from the EU, what they call dynamic alignment. We could have... So that's that. And then the big surrender, of course, will be on fishing, which is of deep concern to my fishing constituents in Boston and Skegness, who are furious at this complete betrayal. We shouldn't be surrendering our fishing waters as opposed to just surrender it because you think it's de minimis.
And so what does our British media do? It parrots it. It feels like the media paints these deals in a negative light, portraying them as acts of surrender to the EU. This narrative not only simplifies the complex political negotiation, but it also undermines the public understanding of it. By framing these deals as concessions, the media is failing to acknowledge the complexity and consideration involved in it. Instead of providing balanced coverage, there's a tendency to amplify the most dramatic and divisive parts of it. The approach not only skewers public opinion, but it also hinders constructive debate. As a result, we're left with a media environment that prioritises conflict over clarity, leaving the public even more divided. The actual deal was just continuing on from Boris Johnson's agreement. They extended the time frame. There's nothing extra. There's no extra quotas or anything like that. It's just extending the time. On top of that, they actually agreed to cut down on checks so that we can sell the fish that we catch into the EU quicker. Because 75 to 80% of the fish that we catch in British waters, the British people don't eat. They don't like it. So we sell it to the EU. How is this not a good deal? Fish that isn't hanging around to be checked is fresher when it's sold, and therefore you get a bigger price for it. This is a really good deal for the fishing industry. And yet, just listen to these questions.
BBC News. To be clear, Prime Minister, isn't the truth that you've sold out the fishermen for what you see as the greater good?
Robert Peston, ITV. Prime Minister, isn't this almost the worst of possible worlds in the sense that you've laid yourself open to accusations of betrayal from Brexit supporters because we are again having rules set for food by Brussels, while you're adding back just a 20th of the GDP, the national income, that we lost when we left the European Union?
Thank you, Prime Minister. Beth Rigby, Sky News. You staked your reputation on getting this deal, and to nail it down, you have given the European Union 12-year access to UK fishing waters, and you have agreed, having ruled it out last year, in principle to a youth mobility scheme. There are those today criticising you for blacksliding on Brexit. Don't they have a point?
Thank you, Prime Minister. Christopher Hope, GB News. As you know, Sir Keir Starmer, critics say your deal turns us into rule takers, not rule makers on standards. The Scottish Fishermen Association, or Federation, say your deal is a horror show, far worse than Boris Johnson's botched Brexit agreement. Are they right? Have you been stitched up like a kipper?
It's clear we are in desperate need of media reform. But one thing that's even more bizarre is the Tories would rather have you eating rotten food than going back and doing better deals with the EU. If you don't believe me, well, you'll need to check out the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.